His legs are gone, his vision tunneling. The crowd falls silent because they think they're watching a man die, and he's thinking about the next stride. 3 months before the race, a biomechanist named Dr. Voss stood in a university corridor under buzzing fluorescent light. He held up a laminated card for the documentary cameras. On it, a single time printed in bold black ink. "This is the thermodynamic ceiling," he said, tapping the card with one finger. "Oxygen uptake, lactate threshold, cardiac output. I've modeled every variable the human body can produce over 26 miles. This number cannot be beaten." He lowered the card. "It isn't opinion, it's physics. Now jump forward. Race night." A city course carved through rain-slicked boulevards, neon signs bleeding color across the wet asphalt, red, blue, gold, like the road itself is on fire. 40,000 runners packed behind a start line. And somewhere in that sea of bodies stands a 28-year-old named Elias, lean as a blade, close-cropped hair, a plain dark red singlet, no sponsor logos, no GPS watch on his wrist, no pace plan in his pocket. Just 3 years of preparation for a number a scientist swore was the end of the road. Rewind, the night before the race. A hotel room 12 floors above the city. Elias sits on the edge of the bed, bare feet on the carpet, city glow pouring through rain-streaked glass. Someone has slid a printout under his door, a copy of Voss's paper, key sections highlighted in yellow. He picks it up, reads every graph, every equation. He's read this paper dozens of times before. He folds it once, sets it on the nightstand beside a glass of water, and turns off the lamp. He already found what he was looking for 3 years ago. 3 years earlier, a public library at 2 in the morning. Elias hunched over a table buried in photocopied journal articles, a cold cup of coffee beside him, yellow highlighter bleeding through cheap paper. He wasn't reading Voss's study to accept it. He was reading it to crack it open. And on page 14, he found the flaw. Voss had modeled the human runner as a thermodynamic machine. Inputs, outputs, energy yield, heat dissipation. Beautiful math, flawless logic. But nowhere in 14 pages of equations was there a variable for the moment a human being decides they are not finished. Dr. Voss was not a villain. Understand that. He was careful, methodical. He'd spent 11 years at the outer edge of human performance, measuring what the body could and couldn't do, and his models had never once been wrong. When colleagues challenged him at conferences, he didn't argue. He opened his leather notebook and pointed to the data. "I don't set limits," he'd say, cleaning his wire-rimmed glasses with a handkerchief. "I find them. Nature decided long before I arrived." He booked a flight to race night. Front row observer seat, pen uncapped, expecting confirmation. The starting gun fires. The pack surges forward into a canyon of rain-slicked city blocks, neon advertisements reflecting off the wet road like spilled paint, electric blue, hot pink, amber gold. Elias tucks into the lead group, settling behind his pacer, a veteran named Tomas. The first 5 miles are controlled, measured, breathing easy. The splits come in from the sideline, and every single one lands right on Voss's number. Not faster, not slower, exactly the ceiling. Elias breathes through his nose. He's patient. The race, his race, hasn't started yet. Here's what separated Elias from every other elite in that field. He trained without technology. No GPS watch, no heart rate strap, no algorithm pacing his intervals. While the rest of the world's best chased digits on a screen, Elias chased feeling. He ran by breath, that ragged edge where the lungs burned but didn't crack. By the sound of his own footfall on gravel before dawn. His coach stood on the sideline once, arms crossed, frustrated. "You cannot manage what you don't measure," the coach said. Elias laced his shoes tighter. "That's exactly the point." Pause. "I want you to sit with something for a second. When was the last time you stopped, not because your body gave out, not because the task beat you, but because a number told you to? A grade, a salary band, an age, a rejection count, a doctor's estimate. How many of your ceilings were actually yours, and how many did you just borrow from someone who measured the world once and decided you fit inside it?" Elias asked himself that question every morning for 3 years. And every morning, the answer tightened his jaw a little more. Mile 15. The rain thickens. Neon reflections on the road blur into smeared rivers of color beneath their shoes. Elias's legs are louder now, not failing but reporting, every tendon checking in. Tomas glances back over his shoulder, scanning Elias's eyes for the flicker that says he's fading. Elias gives him one tight nod. They push. The split at mile 16 comes through from the sideline, and for the first time in the race, they are 3 seconds ahead of Voss's number, 3 seconds past the published ceiling. In the grandstand, Voss looks down at his stopwatch, uncaps his pen, writes nothing. Voss had watched 14 major marathons from seats exactly like this one, clipboard on his knee, pen in hand, and every single time the wall held. The runners slowed right where his equations said they would, mile 18, mile 20, the body's obedience to physics. He'd built an entire career on that certainty, that predictability. But 3 seconds is 3 seconds. He flips to a clean page in his leather notebook, writes the split, underlines it twice, somewhere deep in the part of him that was once a young man who loved running before he learned to measure it. Something stirs. He pushes it down. Mile 22, the wall. Tomas's right leg locks mid-stride, quad C's done. He stumbles, catches himself on the barrier, and waves Elias forward with one desperate hand. Go, now, don't look back. And just like that, Elias is alone. No pacer, no shoulder to draft behind, no rhythm to borrow, just wet asphalt, neon, and the sound of his own breathing filling the space where Tomas used to be. The split call comes from the sideline, and the number is ahead of Voss's ceiling. Not by 3 seconds anymore, by 11. Elias has never been past that number. No human has. Something shifts deep in his chest, and he does not slow down. This is the threshold most people never reach. Not because their bodies can't carry them there, but because their minds file the paperwork first. The quiet negotiation. The internal voice, reasonable and calm, whispering, "You've done enough. Nobody expected you to be here. Slow down, protect what you've already built." Elias hears it. He hears every careful, sensible word, and he lets it speak. He doesn't fight the voice. He doesn't argue with it. He just keeps running. Past the voice. Past the number. Past the version of himself that a paper on page 14 said was the final draft of what a man could be. Here's a fact that might rewire the way you see every wall you've ever hit. In 1954, a young middle-distance runner broke the 4-minute mile, a barrier the scientific community had declared a hard physiological ceiling. The world called it a miracle, one man, one freak performance at the outermost edge of human capacity. And then, within 3 years, 16 other runners broke the same barrier. 16. Same species, same legs, same lungs. Nothing had changed in human biology in 1,000 days. What changed was the story. The wall was never in the body. It was in the agreement. And the moment one person stopped agreeing, the wall stopped existing for everyone. Mile 26, the final turn. Elias rounds the bend, and the wall of crowd noise hits him like a physical force. 70,000 voices bouncing off wet concrete and glass towers lit by neon. His legs are gone. His vision has narrowed to a tunnel with light at the end. His arms swing loose, barely controlled. But his feet keep striking the asphalt. One, then the other, then again. The clock on the gantry above the finish line shows a number that does not exist in any published paper, any biomechanical model, any careful scientist's notebook. Elias crosses the line, falls to his knees on the wet road, and the clock stops. In the grandstand, Dr. Voss stares at his stopwatch. The number on the screen matches the gantry. It is real. He reaches into his overcoat pocket and pulls out the laminated card, the one he's carried to 14 races, the one with the time printed in bold ink, the ceiling he called physics. He uncaps his pen, draws one slow, deliberate line through the old number, writes a new one beneath it, then closes his leather notebook and sits very still. He doesn't look defeated. He looks released, like a wall he didn't know he was living behind just came down around him too. Elias never saw him do it. He didn't need to, because the ceiling was never on that card. It was in the moment you read someone else's math and decided it was about you. So the next time you hit a wall in the gym, in the business, at 4 in the morning when every part of you says stay down, remember what happened on that wet road. The ceiling is wherever you stop looking up. If you're grinding through something nobody sees right now, this one was for you. I'm Cole. Subscribe, a new story like this every evening.